Hi everybody and welcome to the Open eCrime midweek market commentary for the 3rd of April. My name's Simon Clark from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing the markets that are moving and of key interest right now. Now the first market I'm going to take a look at today is the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar. So this is a forex pair. Reason I'm looking at this one is because this has got a nice strong trend across multiple time frames and it's certainly looking very bullish. So if we take a look here first at the monthly chart, we can see that price has got a nice steady uptrend here. We've got a nice series of higher highs and higher lows. Moving averages, they are all sort of fanning in the right order. They've just sort of touched over here. The 10 and the 20 have just touched. They're just started to fan out nicely now as well. And we've also got some nice convergence on the indicators. If we come down to the weekly chart, you can start to see the strength of this trend a lot nicer, a lot more clearer. Lovely clear series of higher highs and higher lows in price action. Moving averages all fanning very nicely now with beautiful geometry in between them. And we've also got lovely convergence there on the indicators too. Same sort of story when we come down here to the daily chart. Now on the daily chart, we can see that the price has actually sort of had a pullback. So it's recently we've had a pullback to the 50 period moving average, and then since then we've now sort of started to make new highs, new higher high, higher low, and now we're moving up to a higher high, and the moving averages all fanning back round now in the right order. And again at the same time we've also got agreement here on the indicators too. Now it starts to get a little bit more interesting when we come down to the 480 chart here. So on the 480 chart we can see this sort of bit of sideways correction and sort of consolidation here on the daily. We can start to see that in a bit more detail here on the 480. And you can see that I've drawn a couple of levels in here, because these levels, if I just scroll this open a bit, you can see that these levels have been respected a number of times. So we've got a couple of levels here in price, and price most recently has been playing in between this consolidation. So we come up to the top of that consolidation, come back down to the low, so we made our high, we made our higher low, and now we've broken right up to make a higher high right at the top of this consolidation. At the same time, moving averages all fanning nicely now, just turning round into the right order, and we've got our convergence here on the indicators. So what this is looking to me like is that we're going to get a break above this level. You know, certainly the trend across all the higher time frames is long. So I'm looking for price to break above this level. Look at, we can even get a nice trend flow trading opportunities where we may well get opportunities where we can put our stop underneath this level, giving ourselves some extra protection with our stop there with this support and resistance level, and our entry above it. So I'm just keeping an eye on this to see how the price action flows out throughout the next couple of days, seeing if we can actually get some trend flow trading opportunities to the high side. Now the next market I'm going to take a look at is Euro AUD. That's the euro against the Australian dollar. Now this market, I've spoken about this over the past few weeks, and it continues to be on my watch list because it's another one of these markets which we've got multiple time frames all in agreement in the same direction. So Euro AUD on the monthly chart, we can see we've got a nice downtrend here. Moving averages all fanning very, very nicely. In fact, this downtrend started back in 2009. The only sort of glitch that we've had in all of that time is this little recent move here where price has come up and it's made a higher high. It's come up to this 1.3 thousand level here, and whilst it's punched above it to make a technical higher high, it's failed to close above it, and then it's pulled back down again. And at this moment in time it's looking like it's rolling over to make new lows. Indicators started to roll over as well, and it's looking very nice to the downside. If we come down here to the weekly, it all starts to stack up, and you can see how prices traded around this 1.3 thousand level and this sort of 1.2400 level here. This is the recent move down where we've broken above this 1.3 thousand level, failed to stay above it, and now price has just continued to fall to the downside, and in doing so it's actually made a new low. So now the weekly chart is also in a confirmed downtrend. Indicators rolling over nicely, all converging with the current price action. If we come down here to the daily chart, we've got all the moving averages all in the right order, all flowing beautifully with beautiful geometry in between them. There's just lovely space in between those moving averages. Indicators, again, all converging with the current price action, and most recently price has pulled back in. It's just kissed that 10-period moving average, and now it's falling away again. If we come down here to the lower time frames, I've got here the 240 time frame. You can see how this sort of price action is faring on these lower time frames, and you can just see as we're having these pullbacks like we have here on the daily, we've got this pullback, how it represents here in the 240 moving averages all fanning nicely. We get trend flow trading opportunities to pick up this market and trade it to the downside. Now just at the moment we've actually got price coming right up to a level here which it's been tested here throughout the past. So this is 1.2220. Price is now just in the process of breaking through it. Now what I'm quite interested about this is because we've got moving averages all fanning in the right order, indicators all converging to the downside, so lovely sort of setup here. If we get a break below this and maybe a pull back to this sort of level, moving averages sort of pulled down a little bit closer, then we could get a trend flow trading opportunity around here where we get a stop. Our stop is protected above this level and our entry is below it, and we can continue to take trend flow opportunities to the downside. And just if we come up here to the weekly chart, you can just see, look how far this price has got potentially to move. So there's plenty of movement to the downside as this downtrend continues. So that's what I'm looking for here on Euro AUD. The last market I want to take a look at here is wheat. Now I spoke about wheat last week, so I want to give you a bit of an update on what's happened, and also to tell you about what trading opportunities I'm looking for now. So let me just remind you of the analysis. So first of all, here on the monthly chart we can see that wheat has been in a nice downtrend. We've made a clear series of lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Price is now sort of coming back down fairly close to these old monthly lows, and it's also around this nice big round number, this 7,000 level. If we take a look here at the weekly chart, we can see that as the weekly chart, this leg down here on the monthly, on the weekly we've just got a lovely clear series of lower highs and lower lows, moving averages all fanning nicely in the right order. And what I was looking for here was I was looking for trading opportunities around this area here, around this candle here, as price came into the sort of sell zone there in between the 10 and the 20 period moving average. We've got here on the weekly chart, we've got nice convergence on the indicators too, as we have here on the daily chart too. Now the bit that I was really quite interested in with wheat was this 740 level, because if we can, or 740 level, because you can see here on the daily chart this level is a level of support and resistance. It's been proven right the way back through time, and what we've had is we've got the monthly and the weekly in downtrends. The daily was having a bit of a pullback. It was pulling back up to a level of support and resistance, and I was looking for this area to hold, looking for this level to hold, and looking for a turnaround in price. This would have corresponded with a trend flow trading opportunity here on the weekly chart. We never got a trend flow here on the weekly chart because the candle was just far too big. In fact, on the lower time frames, there wasn't a setup that I was able to catch this big move to the downside. And obviously, we've had a massive move to the downside here on wheat. And when we see things like this happen, then what I'm looking for, this has obviously changed the trend drastically. It's pulled these lower time frames firmly to the downside, big decisive decision. But with this big type of move, I'm expecting a bit of a pullback, and then for a retest of these old lows at least. So what I'm looking for on time frames like the 480 and the 240, I'm looking for price to be pulling back into the sell zone, as we're almost there now on the 480, looking for bearish candles, looking for trend flow trading opportunities to at least look at trading down to these old lows down here, so the 660 level as first targets. So that concludes the midweek market outlook and potential trading opportunities to look out for. I'd like to thank you for watching the Open eCry midweek market commentary, and we look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.